What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Pause or Set Play. Today I'm going to make a bit of a different video than the normal gameplay videos I've been making. This video it's going to be about GameStop, the video game retailer that pretty much everybody's aware of. This week I've seen a number of different articles across a variety of sources that have gone into an alleged program that GameStop has. I've seen articles on Forbes. I have one here from Kotaku, and I'll put these links in the description as well that you can kind of read yourself if you like. But essentially, this program it's a something that GameStop has allegedly implemented. Again, there's nothing firm from GameStop about whether or not this information is true, but employees and former employees are the ones who are coming out and saying, "Hey, this is what we're being instructed to do," and I wanted to kind of go into detail about that, and also kind of open up this video in the comments to different people who've shopped at GameStop, and they can share their experiences. But real quick, there's this program. It's called Circle of Life, or that's what it's being referred to as, and it's essentially it's a complex quota system that GameStop has, where it really kind of tracks 4 different areas: pre-orders of games, any reward card subscriptions, so that would be your power-up rewards, used game sales, and trade-ins. So all 4 of these are more or less rankings that they have to base an associate success on, to base an individual store success on, and it kind of goes into what those quotas are. Now, for instance, it says that the used game sales must be at least 30%, and the store has to sell at least $1,000 worth of merchandise. The example is if they sell $1,000 worth of merchandise, they expect about $300 of that to come from pre-owned sales. In some ways, obviously, it makes sense from a store standpoint. Their profit margins are higher on used games. So naturally, the drive, I think, from leadership is going to be, hey, really emphasize a used game. And to a certain point, I think that's understandable. I think that's fine, especially if one of the drivers there is that the used game is more affordable to the consumer than the new game is. So, just using PS4 or Xbox One games, new games when they come out, typically full retail games are $59.99 here in the States, and then the used copy would be $54.99. So if you're pushing people to buy that used copy, then the consumer is saving $5. They also can return the game within 7 days if they don't like it, and get their money back, pick up a new game. So there's incentives for the consumer to buy a used game in that scenario. Now the issue though is employees are coming out and saying that in many cases they are pushing the used copy on a consumer even when the new game is much cheaper. So an example of that they've given is Watch Dogs 2. So this was a new game towards the end of 2016, and there's currently a sale going on right now. The new game costs $29.99. Now you would think that the used version would be, $24.99 or cheaper than the new game is, but actually it's not. The used copy of the game costs $54.99. So here you start to see situations where this quota system that they have, driving behavior to focus on pre-owned sales, is actually hurting the consumer quite a bit. I mean, you're paying nearly double for a used copy than you are for the new copy. Now, what's even more underhanded and shady is that a lot of these employees are saying that they've been instructed to hide new games, to say that a new game is not in stock, or to say that a system is not in stock, in order to prevent their pre-owned sales percentages from dropping. So I think this is where you really start to see bad business practices, because it's hurting the consumer quite a bit. Now, I've also seen, like I said, I've seen other articles where they've gone into that. They've spoken to some GameStop employees, and these employees more or less, lambasted the folks who are making these accusations that they're quote unquote complete nonsense, and this doesn't happen, or a quote unquote smart employee would never do this. My thing is, there's a reason that the associates are doing this, and whether directly or indirectly by the practices and policies that their leadership team and executive team has established, that is what's driving this behavior. So if these associates here at stores are feeling the pressure that, hey, I need to hit my quotas here, damn the consumer, I don't care if they have to pay double for a used copy of a game when I have 10 copies of the new game here on my shelf, I'm going to hide those when I first come in, push people to keep buying the used version, and hey, if I can get them to pre-order a game while they're at it, I'm going to look great. I want to hit my numbers. That's all I care about. So in my opinion, that's something that is coming down from their leadership team, even if it's indirect. Putting that type of pressure on your associates, it goes against what the core values of the business should be, and at the end of the day, it hurts their consumers. Certainly, these types of articles don't help their PR standpoint whatsoever. I imagine there's a lot of people who, when reading these articles, are saying, hey, you know what? I think that may have happened to me, and next time I buy a new game, I'm going to shop elsewhere. Now, full disclosure from me, by and large, I buy most of my new games from Best Buy. There's a few Best Buys in the area right around me, so I can pick games up from there. There's like 10 GameStops within a 10-mile radius of me, so there's no shortage of GameStops around here. The only reason really I go to Best Buy is because of the 20% off new games from the Gamers Club. So, most of my shopping I do for new games, at least, is from Best Buy. But I do still buy games occasionally from GameStop if there's a particularly good sale going on there. So I do want to kind of disclose that most of my shopping isn't at GameStop anymore. But if I start to read about this policy here, and if this is indeed true, and in my opinion it seems like it is, if there's a lot of associates and former employees who are going into fine details about how exactly this system or quota system works, that to me indicates, hey, there's probably fire where there's smoke. So I also wanted to kind of quickly show the GameStop core values. So I just pulled this right up from GameStop's own website here, and it goes into what they feel their core values are, going from a very small retailer up to the giant publicly traded company that they are right now. If you go through and read this thing, I'm not going to read it word by word here, but essentially everything that they're saying that they're doing here, if this Circle of Life program does have, if it is true, then it's going in the face of everything that they say that they represent. And in my opinion, again, that goes back to the message being driven by their leadership and their executive teams. I think they need to get out in front of this. They need to make this right by the consumer, because at the end of the day, they're not being empowered. They're not being responsible. They're not protecting the family as they so powerfully try to depict here on their team site. So I really want to make this video to kind of go into this more. If you haven't heard about this, let people know that way as well. Also wanted to hear from other people in the comments. If you do most of your shopping at gaming for games at GameStop, let me know if you think this has kind of happened to you. Even better, if there's employees at GameStop who can kind of weigh in and give their opinion as well, that would be tremendous. But the point of this video is really just for awareness. If it can reach people and get a response to this, even better. But I saw that this week. I saw these articles this week. I wanted to make a video and just kind of get people's opinions on it. So please don't hesitate to let me know what you think in the comment section. And as always, thanks for watching.